this is Sean back again with All Things Black. I have a new friend here.
Hi, I'm Alyssa. I am Dominican and I hail from, well, I was born in New York.
Okay. All right. So me and Melissa are going to talk about colorism today. Um, so our first question will be, so how does, being that you are Afro-Latina, how does colorism relate to the Afro-Latina community?
Yeah, so it's a huge issue here. Well, in the Latin community in general, because we treat each other differently according to the color of our skin. So the lighter you are, the more you're able to assimilate to whiteness, and so therefore, it's almost like your life is a little easier. Your relatives treat you better, especially your elders who are really deep into colorism. Um, like you're just treated better among family members. Also, you even realize it within your own people. It's like either even in dating and stupid stuff like that that you think that it should really make a difference. It definitely does make a difference. Um, Even with like, the American community, it makes a difference because like some
Hmm.
people deem you black, but
Yeah.
then like then the white Latin community deems you black, and white people also deem you black. So you're stuck in this like weird middle just because of colorism.
Mhm. Okay, yeah, okay. All right, so it's like you don't being too like too dark for the Latin community and too like white for the black community.
Exactly.
Okay, all right. So what does the word colorism mean to you? I mean, I feel like you probably kind of already touched that a little bit, but if there's anything you would add to it.
Yeah, no problem. So colorism is just you're treated according to the color of your skin.
Yeah.
So if you are of darker descent, you're treated poorly. I've just noticed that with colorism, it just depicting on the color of your skin is how you get treated amongst your peers and family
Yeah.
members.
All right. Um, so do you think it's any different in like the Latin community uh, than like the African American community, or would you say it's kind of like the same?
It's almost the same, but I would say one difference that I do notice is that Black people don't have I guess, the opportunity to make themselves white. Like
Yeah.
Latin people can. So it's
Okay.
like, if you have, I guess, quote unquote good hair and then you have lighter skin and you've got Anglo-Saxon features, you can assimilate yourself to whiteness as much as possible. Or you can just be completely white. People won't know that you're of Latin descent until you open your mouth. So that's definitely the difference that I've noticed between the Black community and the Latin community. But it's still trash all the way around.
Right. Okay. All right. So what? Okay. So who do you believe um benefits from colorism, and what way?
I would say white people benefit from colorism because then you get these people that that don't like the way they look, so then they try to assimilate into a culture that's not theirs. So you know how what people always like the stereotype for Asians is that they're the good minority. I
Yeah.
feel like colorism tends to promote that.
Yeah.
So if you are of lighter skin, you might, or if the darker you are, the worse ghetto you're perceived per se. If you are of lighter skin, a lot of times people will start, like they'll think that they're behaving in a way that they're supposed to.
Okay, so I was asking, what role do you believe traditional media plays in promoting colorist stereotypes? Or if you believe it does play a role?
Now things are getting better
Mhm.
in terms of media, but like for example, we didn't even know that Afro in media because of media. They were always either like white Latinos or something like that. Like for a long time, I didn't know that I was an Afro Latina or a Black Latina just because of the lack of education and the lack of mainstream media showing anything. So the mainstream media always just showed and displayed that lighter skin features, the pretty light skin girl and all the music videos and all the
Yeah.
movies. That's you never really see yourself. So representation kind of makes you feels inadequate.
Okay. All right. So I was reading this book. It's called Same Family, Different Colors. I don't know if you've ever heard of it before. Yeah, so it's by this lady. She has like a mixed race child. So basically, she just like goes and talks to different mixed race or just different people about colorism. And so she has a part in there. She has the Black community, the Asian community, the Latin community. So she has all the communities. So she does talk about like be Afro Latina in there. But in her book, she talks about how in the which is it's really the same in the Black community, but she talks about how in the Latina community, there is like some of the elders talk about like improving the race.
Yep.
Um, so I read that, but I wasn't like sure, how that, if that was like an isolated thing or if that was like a
No, all of them, all of
yeah,
them do, especially like Caribbean Latinos. But yeah, it's we say it all the time. Improve the race, which is essentially date someone with Anglo-Saxon features, so your kids can come out more approximate to whiteness.
yeah. Okay.
That
All right.
way, your child doesn't come out with black features, because
Right.
proving the race would be to get it closer to whiteness, which is so ridiculous.
Yeah. Yeah, I read that and I was like, I mean, but it's no different from a community when they say, you should have a baby with someone that's light skinned, so you have a light baby. So I mean, it's the same thing. So all right. So what role do you believe, if you believe it plays a role, does colorism play in dating and marriage?
um, I've noticed like black men specifically, if I say, because at the end of the day, I look like a black woman. Like you won't really be able to tell, unless like I speak heavy with my accent sometimes,
Yeah,
or like depending on how I wear my hair. But either people think I'm mixed or they think I'm straight Dominican. But I've noticed a difference when I say I'm Latina.
yeah,
I get treated differently, and I get a completely different response. There could be a black woman standing next to me who looks 10 times better than me,
yeah.
or that's the same complexion, same hair texture, but because she's full black, it's it's to the treatment is completely different.
Okay. Okay. So is it, so you feel like sometimes even if you, um, look like a black woman, if you say, when you tell people what you are, it's like a,
Like if I'm on a date, I'd be like, oh yeah, he's like, oh, where are you from? I'm like, oh, I'm Dominican. Well, full-blooded Dominican. Like, oh, and then it's a slight change. It definitely, but it's a noticeable one.
okay.
Then it turns into like, oh, sexy mommy, or like stupid two words they learned.
Okay. All right. So I have like seen I was watching like a video on Twitter and so it was a girl, she was like a Latina woman and she was kind of like screaming and like cursing out her boyfriend on the phone and so people were just so some people were saying how like those qualities are appreciated in like like the spicy Latina, stereotype, and that's like appreciated in like Latina women, but not in like black.
Oh, that's totally true.
Yeah,
Because as soon as I go off, I never get that angry black girl. I get, oh, you're spicy. I like it. Oh, you're
yeah,
spicy. I like it.
yeah. Okay, all right. So how do you believe gender intersects with colorism, and I guess do you think it's different?
Um, I'm not sure because I'm not a man, but I mean, I'm sure they experience colorism because guys get teased just as women get teased, but I can't really speak on their experience. I can only really speak on mine, and for women,
Yeah,
definitely harder because women have more pressure anyway. We have to have good hair, we have to, have a certain kind of body. The lighter our skin is, the better for us. Like with guys, I feel like if he's chocolate and if he's attractive in chocolate, it doesn't matter. But you could be beautiful in chocolate, and that matters.
yeah. Okay. All right. So Do you believe that you have ever been? I mean, we've kind of touched this, but do you believe that you've ever been discriminated against on the basis of your skin tone?
Yeah, all the time. Because I get treated, especially because I live in Miami, so it's
Uh,
like I'll start to get treated one way, especially depending on how I wear my hair, and then as soon as I open my mouth, and if I say something in Spanish, then it's like, oh, you're family now. So it's
yeah.
like definitely a difference.
Okay. All right. So do you believe there's a difference between so colorism and so the question is, do you believe there's a difference between colorism and the mistreatment or bullying towards people that are of a lighter skin tone, such as calling them like light bright or questioning about their blackness? Do you think that and colorism is the same thing?
Yeah, because at the end of the day, colorism derives from treating each other different based on the color of their skin.
Mhm.
So if you treat someone badly because they're of lighter skin, you're just perpetuating that vicious cycle. And I have because when I was working on a series and it was based on colorism, and I interviewed a lot of people in the process of doing that series, and she said one of the girls I interviewed an African American girl, and she said she was the lightest in the family, and she always felt like she wasn't black enough because all the time everyone made her feel as if she wasn't, like she's lighter, she has this, she has that. So it's almost like it I it just continues that cycle, and it just doesn't help at all because then she might then become upset or like hold on to that anger and that animosity. And let's say, for example, she hears this, light bright light skin crap all this time, and then she goes into college. Now she thinks she's better, like then now she's upset, and maybe she starts treating dark skinned people worse. It's just like that's how you kind of create that the issue.
Okay. All right.
Or
And
like
so
the issue, not so much create it. Why we creating it?
yeah. Okay. I get you. You saying that's how you keep it going.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What role do you believe colorism plays in employment and career opportunities?
That I'm not sure. Unless it's like, I mean, I can definitely say in the retrospect of like, so depending on the, if you're in corporate, I don't think it could play that much of a part, but it might.
Mm,
I guess depending on your hair, really. And then, but I know like when I worked in the entertainment industry, that made a huge difference. So
yeah.
like if I was interning, I was at so like for example, when I was like doing my internship and I did that, I had to be hired because I fit a mold that the owners wanted more than anything. Or if you're a bartender, things like that. Those definitely do make a difference. Like they don't want to hire the dark skinned girl, which is stupid, but
Yeah. I do know for the Latina community, as far as like with employment, if you're a lighter skinned Latina, you're more likely to
you can
be
make yourself
yeah, you're more likely to be hired, um, at jobs in general. I don't know, how big the study was, but they did say that you would be more likely to be hired. I guess it's yeah that proximity to whiteness that some employers like.
yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
especially
Mhm.
that was a good point about like the entertainment industry. I know it's definitely in the entertainment industry. I was talking to a girl um the day before yesterday, and she was a mixed race woman, black and white, and she was speaking about how um when she goes to like video shoots or before video shoots, some people ask her to come because of they like her look. They like, her skin. She said that, So yeah, it's a thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Okay. So all right. So then the last couple questions are so one I'm sorry, I just drew a blank. Um okay, so Who is responsible for breaking the cycle of colorism, and do you believe it will ever end?
I wish it could end. I mean, like I'm hopeful that it does, but I think people, it's possible. I feel like as long as we continue to talk about it, as long as we bring awareness to it, I think it because I feel like people are just accepting themselves more too. Like for example, I used to be really self-conscious because, but now that I started to talk about it more, then I realized that I wasn't the only one going through that. And also just going to events where you meet fellow Afro Latinas and they're like, yeah, I hated my hair and I used to like go in the salon and try to get rid of it, be there for 4 hours trying to get rid of my curls. And it's like I feel like as you get self acceptance to yourself, then I think that's how you can definitely break the cycle. um I think we're responsible breaking the cycle. White people really should be breaking the cycle, but at the end of the day, you cannot and dumb because
Yeah,
they but it's up to us individually to break the cycle because it doesn't a movement doesn't start by it starts by an individual. And so individually you have to do the work, recognize your history, recognize why you see yourself that way, and then start talking about it. And as you become vocal about it, then you realize other people feel the same way, and then they keep talking about it, and then that's how movement starts, and that's how you create change.
right. Okay. All right. So I asked you everything. I really appreciate talking with you today. Is there anything you want to add before we go ahead and go?
No, that's it. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much. And this is Sean, signing off from All Things Black. And
Melissa, nice to meet
okay,
you.
bye, Melissa.
Bye.
Thank you.
My pleasure.